In a few years, the gesture you make hundreds of times a day, pulling your phone out of your pocket, could disappear forever. Not because you'll stop needing that information, but because you'll no longer have to search for it. It will already be right in front of your eyes. Some of the most powerful companies on the planet are pouring billions into this technology. But there's a problem almost no one talks about, a problem that concerns you, your data, and everyone around you right now. We'll get to that in a moment. First, let's understand what's actually about to happen. To understand where this is going, we first need to understand what's actually inside a pair of smart glasses. It's not magic. It's engineering packed into a very small space. First, cameras. They analyze the environment in real time, as if the glasses had their own eyes, in addition to yours. Then the microphones, for listening to voice commands and conversations, a detail we'll come back to, because it's not as harmless as it sounds. Audio often doesn't come through classic earbuds, but through directional speakers or bone conduction. Sound reaches you without covering your ears, so you can still hear the real world. At the center of it all, an AI assistant, partly running in the cloud, partly directly on the device, a delicate balance between power and speed. And in more advanced models, a transparent display. It projects information directly into your field of view, overlaid on reality. Put together, these elements have one goal: letting you receive information without ever having to look at a phone. Sounds like science fiction. But some of these features already exist today, in early form. And that's where it gets interesting, because what you're about to see isn't a concept. It's a direction already underway. Now for the most interesting part. This isn't theory. Let's walk through concrete scenarios, one by one, situations you already live today, but completely transformed. You're in Japan. Someone speaks to you in Japanese. In front of your eyes, almost in real time, appears, "Good morning, can I help you?" No app open. No phone in hand. Just a conversation flowing, as if you suddenly spoke the same language. You're walking through an unfamiliar city. You're no longer staring at a screen with a blue dot. An arrow appears on the street itself, right in front of you. Turn left, then right. Like playing a video game, except the game is your real life. You look at an old building. Its construction year, height, and a piece of trivia appear, something no tour guide could tell you that fast. You look at a plant in the park. The AI identifies the species. You look at a painting in a museum. It tells you the artist and the story, without you having to search for a plaque on the wall. You see a jacket you like. The glasses identify the model, compare the price online, look for better deals, and suggest similar items. Shopping stops being a search. It becomes a glance. You look at a menu written in a language you don't understand. It translates itself. It shows you the ingredients, the allergens, and recommends the best dishes based on your taste. A student looks at a formula. A visual 3D explanation appears. They can ask the AI questions out loud, as if they had a private tutor always available. A surgeon can view CT scans, MRIs, and vital signs without ever looking away from the patient. In a setting where every second counts, this isn't convenience. It's safety. A technician standing in front of complex machinery sees instructions, diagrams, parts that need replacing, and safety warnings, projected directly onto the machine in real time. Sounds like the perfect future, right? Here's the problem. This future has already been tried once. And it failed. And the reason it failed has nothing to do with the technology. In 2013, Google unveiled what many believed was the future of computing: Google Glass. It wasn't just another gadget. For the first time, a computer could sit directly on your face, always connected, always ready, displaying information without taking your phone out of your pocket. For its time, it felt revolutionary. It featured a tiny transparent display, voice commands, GPS navigation, hands-free messaging, photo and video recording, and access to Google services, all packed into a lightweight wearable device. It looked like something straight out of a science fiction movie. Many believed smartphones would soon become obsolete. Google itself described Glass as the next major computing platform. The future had arrived. almost a decade too early. At first, excitement was everywhere. Developers rushed to create apps. Technology journalists called it revolutionary. Investors imagined a world where everyone would wear smart glasses every day. The possibilities seemed endless. Imagine walking through a city while directions floated in front of your eyes, receiving messages without touching your phone, recording life's moments instantly. It sounded incredible. Then something unexpected happened. People didn't reject the technology. They rejected the people wearing it. Someone wearing Google Glass immediately stood out. Not because it looked futuristic, but because nobody knew what it was actually doing. Was the camera recording? Was the microphone listening? Could it recognize faces? Nobody could tell. And uncertainty creates discomfort. Soon, the backlash began. Some restaurants and bars asked customers to remove the device before entering. A few businesses openly banned smart glasses altogether. The media started talking about growing privacy concerns. Even a nickname appeared online for public users of Google Glass: glass holes. It wasn't just an insult. It reflected a growing fear that wearable cameras could quietly erase the boundary between public and private life. This revealed something fascinating. The experience was completely different depending on which side of the glasses you were on. For the wearer, the device felt helpful, useful, innovative. But for everyone else, it introduced uncertainty. The person standing in front of you couldn't answer simple questions. Are you recording me? Are you taking a photo? Is artificial intelligence analyzing my face? Where is this information going? And perhaps the most important question of all, did I ever agree to this? In the end, Google Glass didn't disappear because the hardware was impossible. It didn't fail because the software was broken. It failed because society wasn't ready. Technology moved faster than social trust. People accepted smartphones because they clearly understood when a camera was being used. But glasses changed that relationship completely. Recording could happen without anyone noticing. That invisible uncertainty proved more powerful than the technology itself. Now fast forward to today. Artificial intelligence is dramatically more capable. Cameras are smaller. Microphones are better. Voice assistants can understand natural conversation. And AI can recognize objects, translate languages, summarize meetings, and answer questions in real time. The technology has evolved enormously. But here's the uncomfortable question. Has human trust evolved just as quickly? Because before smart glasses become as common as smartphones, they still have to solve several very real problems. And those challenges are far more complicated than simply making better hardware. If smart glasses are so promising, why isn't everyone wearing them already? The answer isn't just price. It's physics. Engineers around the world are trying to solve 4 major problems. Some are difficult. One may completely determine whether this technology becomes mainstream or remains a niche product. Let's start with the biggest challenge of all: battery life. Think about everything these glasses are expected to do at the same time. A camera is constantly ready. Multiple microphones are always listening for voice commands. Tiny displays project information directly into your field of view. Sensors track your head movement. Wireless radios communicate with your phone or the cloud. And on top of all that, artificial intelligence is continuously analyzing what you see and hear. That requires enormous computing power. Now compare that to your smartphone. A phone has room for a battery thousands of times larger than the tiny cells that can fit inside a glasses frame. With glasses, every extra minute of battery life means either a larger battery or less comfort. And that's where engineers face an impossible trade-off. If the glasses become heavier, people stop wearing them. If they're lighter, they don't last long enough. Today, battery technology simply isn't improving as fast as AI is becoming more demanding. Many experts consider this the single biggest obstacle facing the entire industry. Now imagine wearing your glasses, not for 20 minutes, but for 12 hours every day. Even a few extra grams become noticeable. Pressure builds on your nose. Your ears become uncomfortable. Your neck compensates for the extra weight without you even realizing it. That's why designing smart glasses isn't just about making electronics smaller. It's about hiding an entire computer inside something people completely forget they're wearing. That means fitting cameras, processors, microphones, speakers, antennas, sensors, displays, and batteries inside frames that should feel almost identical to ordinary glasses. It's one of the toughest industrial design challenges ever attempted. Then there's a problem most people never think about. Light. Inside your home, a transparent display can look bright and perfectly readable. Step outside on a sunny afternoon, and the sun completely overwhelms it. The display hasn't become worse. The environment has simply become thousands of times brighter. To remain visible, the glasses must produce even more light. But producing more light requires more electricity, which means more battery consumption. And suddenly we're back to the first problem again. Engineers call this a design trade-off. Improve one limitation, and another immediately becomes worse. Finally, there's connectivity. Many of today's most impressive AI features don't actually happen inside the glasses. They happen somewhere else. In powerful data centers. When you ask the glasses a question, recognize an object, translate a language, or summarize a conversation, that request is often sent across the internet to much larger AI systems. If the connection is slow, the response slows down. If the connection disappears, many advanced features disappear with it. Future chips will make more AI run directly on the device. But today, the cloud is still doing much of the heavy lifting. These are serious engineering problems. Battery technology improves every year. Processors become more efficient. Displays become brighter. Wireless networks become faster. History suggests these challenges will eventually be solved. Maybe not tomorrow, but almost certainly one day. The next obstacle isn't about batteries, or displays, or processors. It can't be solved simply by building better hardware. Because this next problem asks a completely different question. Who controls what these glasses can see? And who controls the data they collect? And that changes the conversation entirely. Let's go back to the question from Chapter 3, Social Trust. When you record something with a phone, you're holding it. It's visible. The person in front of you can see it. A pair of smart glasses? Not so much. The cameras are hidden inside a frame that looks identical to a normal pair of prescription glasses. When are they recording? Where does the data go? Who can access it? These aren't rhetorical questions. They're the three questions that will genuinely decide the mass adoption of this technology, far more than display quality or battery life. And there's an even deeper layer. Think about it. Today, companies know what you search for online. With AI glasses, they could know what you look at in real life, where your gaze lingers, what grabs your attention, for how many seconds. This is a type of data that simply doesn't exist at this scale today. And whoever owns it won't just have access to what you think, but to how your interest is formed, moment by moment. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to make one simple thing clear. The real battle for this technology won't be won in a lab. It'll be won in people's trust. And privacy management will very likely be the #1 factor deciding whether these glasses become as normal as a smartphone, or end up like Google Glass. Let's recap what we've learned. Smart AI glasses promise to eliminate one of the most repeated gestures of our day, looking at the phone. Instant translation, navigation, object recognition, shopping, medicine, industry, these applications are real, not science fiction. But technology alone isn't enough. We saw it with Google Glass. The problem was never what a device could do. It was always how much people trusted whoever was wearing it. Battery, weight, brightness, these are obstacles that time will likely solve. Privacy, on the other hand, is a question that this time we'll have to solve as a society, Even before we solve it as consumers, in a few years, you might stop pulling your phone out of your pocket for good. The question is no longer whether this will happen. The question is, when that moment comes, will you be the one deciding what those glasses see, or will they be the ones deciding what you see? If this video made you see the future in a different light, subscribe to the channel. Every week we break down the technologies about to change how we live, before they become mainstream news. See you in the next video.